All right then. Good afternoon, everybody. So welcome to the second in a series of thought leadership webinars brought to you by Simplified Solutions. I'm Matt, I'm the VP of Growth here at Simplified Solutions, and I am joined once again by my co-host, the CTO and co-founder of Simplified Solutions, Suraj. Suraj, do you want to say hi to the folks?
Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining.
So in today's webinar, we're going to focus on that slowly emerging tech people might have heard of called artificial intelligence. More specifically, we're going to talk about the AI transformation journey and how organizations of any size can use AI to address their business challenges. So I just want to start quickly by looking at what we're going to talk about today. We're going to start by looking at the state of play and some of the history behind AI and how we got to where we are today. We'll then focus on the AI transformation journey, sort of a step-by-step guide of what that journey looks like for an organization. We'll then look at some of the challenges of implementing a strategy, looking at some of the best practices around the training model and the reliability and accuracy of AI. We'll then look at some of the model selection options that organizations have, but then we'll also tackle some of the ethical issues that AI brings as well before summarizing and looking at some of the key takeaways. But before we dive into that, so just wanted to give you a quick overview of who we are at Simplified Solutions for those who may not be familiar with us at all. So Simplified Solutions, we are an innovative IT strategy consultancy company. We have a clear focus at the within the business. And that's to turn really sort of complex IT challenges into simple, secure, and compliant solutions for organizations. Now, some of the areas we assist in, it's security by design principles, offensive and defensive security measures, regulation and compliance, secure payments, and today's topic, which is AI transformation. So that's who we are. So without further ado, let's kick this off. So Suraj, I will hand over to you. Let's talk a little bit about where we are in today's market for AI and also what's projected over the next sort of couple of years.
Absolutely. Thanks, Matt. The UK AI market is expected to show an annual growth rate of 28.3%. Resulting in a market volume of $29.6 billion by 2030. That's only way when we talked about the AI market in the UK. But if you look at the market in a global perspective, in 2024, the AI market is expected to be 185 billion, and the market size is expected to grow to $832 billion by 2030. So this gives us a picture that how AI is growing. It's inevitable that we have to get on board with AI, and I think the stats really proves so.
So yeah, so it's really interesting. Obviously, stats there. It's certainly clear that the AI is here to stay. But what are some? Let's obviously have a quick look at now some of the areas where AI is actually being used.
Right. Okay. With the current stat, organizations are using AI in 3 different areas: productivity, business innovation, redesign operational model. So these are the areas organizations are really focusing on in order to leverage AI capability. If we overlay this data with the data we saw previously, it gives a very good picture that not onboarding AI, it's going to really impact organization in terms of their productivity, in terms of their innovation, and to deliver excellent customer experience, redesigning their operation model. So it gives a really it paints a really good pictures in terms of AI, why it's important, and then what direction it's going to.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting to see some of these, 3 use cases that we've got up here. I mean, personally, I certainly utilize AI from a sales and marketing perspective, whether it's helping writing emails or helping writing blogs. And it certainly helped me become more productive in my role. But before we go deeper into AI transformation, I think it's important to take a step back and look at sort of how we got to where we are. I mean, AI has been around for decades, but the real ramp up only seemed to happen in the last sort of few years, especially with sort of Gen AI. So do you mind just sort of setting the stage and talk about how we got to where we are today?
Absolutely. To set the stage, artificial intelligence has the ability to perform tasks that typically requires human intelligence. Machine learning, deep learning, natural language processing, computer vision, neural network are subset of AI in traditional set. And you're right to say, Matt, AI has been there for decades. Just going back to the history, the significant breakthrough was in 1997 when IBM Deep Blue became the first computer system to defeat the reigning world chess champion, Garry Kasparov, showcasing the potential of AI in complex problem solving. So now AI is really evolved. We talked a lot more about generative AI. The way I see it, why this is getting so popular, because traditional AI, in the sense, they were expensive, they were technical, and it wasn't available to general public. And at the same time, it wasn't affordable. But Gen AI has really revolutionized it. So we've got access to the LLM models to do the things that we want to do, leveraging AI. So the whole paradigm has shifted. That's why we can see this snowball effect in last couple of years, how Gen AI is getting popular. So Gen AI refers to deep learning models capable of producing high quality content such as text, images, or other data types based on information they were trained on. The rise of Gen AI has captured public imagination, notably through tools like OpenAI, ChatGPT, Google Gemini, Perplexity, Llama, and many more, which can generate human-like responses. Early generative AI breakthrough in computer vision was now expanded into natural language processing with models that can generate text, code, images, and more. And Matt, you rightly said you use it for your sales and marketing. So that's actually a sort of like a blessing of Gen AI.
But as long as it looks like it's really coming from me, that's the main thing. Right. So well, let's get into the real sort of the nitty gritty now of this webinar and talking about the AI transformation strategy for an organization. Look, so step-by-step process. So just want to take us through again the step-by-step of this journey for organizations.
Right, to get started, because the webinar is about AI transformation, it's key to have strategy in place to get started with AI transformation. We've heard of digital transformation. AI transformation is really coming up now. The first step is to define clear vision and set specific objectives. This vision outlines how AI will drive value across your organization. It is essential to align AI initiatives with broader business goals, such as improving operational efficiency or enhancing customer experience. Additionally, set measurable objectives to track progress and identify high-priority areas where AI can make the most impact, whether in decision-making, automation, or customer engagement. The next in the line is assess current capabilities. Organizations should conduct a thorough assessment of their AI readiness. This includes evaluating their data infrastructure, employee skills, technological assets, etc. The goal is to identify gaps in talent pool, processes that may hinder AI adoption. This audit will inform future investment, particularly in the areas like data governance, upskilling, and workforce, or enhancing technological infrastructure. Prioritizing use cases. Organizations should prioritize AI use cases that closely align with their business objectives and can demonstrate quick, tangible value. Focus on projects that are both impactful and feasible, such as customer service, automation, predictive maintenance, where the return on investment can be realized rapidly. Early wins will help build momentum for broader AI adoption. And later in this session, we're going to introduce some of the AI use cases as well. Building the right team, I think this is one of the critical strategy that needs to be addressed beforehand. A successful AI transformation requires multidisciplinary team that blends both technical and business expertise. This team should include data scientists, machine learning engineers, business analysts, and project managers. Depending on the complexity of the initiative, use cases, partnering with external AI specialists or consulting firm may be necessary to supplement your in-house talent. The next one is data. AI is all about data. So developing data strategy. So data is foundation of any AI initiative. Organization need to assess the current state of their data in terms of accessibility, quality, and governance. A strong data strategy is critical, encompassing data management systems, security, and data governance. AI is only as effective as the quality of data it processes. So investing in improving data infrastructure is critical to ensuring successful AI outcome. And we know that it's garbage in, garbage out in data context. Choose appropriate technologies. When selecting AI technologies, organizations should focus on options that meet their specific business needs and integrate with existing systems. Key considerations includes scalability, user-friendliness, and alignment with long-term goals. Technologies might include machine learning platform, natural language processing tools, or automation software. The right choice will depend on specific use cases and operation requirement. We will go through model selections and technical selections as part of this session a bit later. Planning for implementation. Planning for AI implementation requires a clear roadmap that prioritizes initiatives based on their potential business impact. A phased approach is recommended, starting with pilot projects that can scale over time. Clear timelines, resources allocation, and cross-departmental collaboration are essential for successful implementation plan. Next in the strategy is about addressing ethical consideration. Ethical considerations are critical in AI deployment. Organizations should establish a guideline to ensure responsible and ethical use of AI. This includes promoting fairness, transparency, and accountability. Additionally, they must implement measures to prevent bias in algorithms and ensure compliance with regulatory standard and data privacy and security. We will talk a bit more about ethical consideration later in this session. Invest in training and change management. Training and change management are key to fostering organization buy-in and ensuring successful AI adoption. Organizations should provide AI-related training for stakeholders, including executive, technical teams, and project managers. A robust change plan might include workshop, upskilling programs, ongoing education initiatives to build confidence and competence in AI technologies. Establishing governance and monitoring. A governance structure should be set to oversee deployment and operation of AI systems. Continuous monitoring of AI performance and outcome is essential to improve models over time and mitigate risk. Regular reviews will ensure that AI should remain aligned with business objectives and adapt to evolving needs. Last but not the least, I think the communication strategy is quite critical within the organization, because a lot of things fails due to not having right communication. So clear and transparent communication is essential for aligning AI initiative with business outcomes. The AI vision, goals, progress should be communicated to all stakeholders from leadership to employees. Ensuring transparency about how AI benefits the business will help secure support and maintain momentum throughout AI transformation process.
Okay, thanks for running through those, Suraj. There's some really insightful points there on the journey. especially around communication, because obviously that's key for any organization and any strategy, is to make sure everyone's fully aligned and and everyone knows what's going on. But I think the ethical considerations, I think, are key as well. But we'll address those later. But I think some really insightful points there. So to move on, like some organizations quite rightfully have a bit of a wait and see approach when it comes to AI adoption, and some just may not be in a position to go ahead with the robust type of strategy that they'd want. So with that in mind, I think it's important that we now address some of the more sort of common challenges with developing an AI with an AI strategy.
Absolutely. Getting AI on board, there are many different challenges, but in my view, there are key 4 challenges, starting from insufficient data. Again, I go back to my earlier sentence about garbage in, garbage out, right? So we have to have appropriate data in order to get results that we are seeking for from AI models. So understanding the state and location of the data is important. AI models rely on large and high quality data sets, so limited access to relevant data can weaken the strategy and the performance of AI solutions. The next challenge is about lack of AI knowledge. A lack of understanding about AI capabilities and application can lead to skepticism, resistance, or poor decision making. This undermines the strategy and hinders successful AI integration within an organization. The next one is strategic misalignment. AI initiatives that are not aligned with the organization goals, priorities, and vision may lead to wasted effort. Lack of leadership support and inability to show tangible value really hinders the progress. It goes back to the previous point regarding the communication that we talked about. Communication and alignment in communication from top management to the engineers are really, really important, because we know that it's all about AI now. Everyone get really excited and then they just start doing things at an operation level. That's not how it should really work, and that could be a bottleneck moving forward for organization to do investment in that particular stream. Talent shortage. So this is kind of evolving topic. So developing, implementing, and managing AI projects requires skilled professionals. A shortage of AI talent, such as data scientists and machine learning experts, or reluctance among current employees to learn new skills can threaten the strategy success as well. So we have to balance. We put right skill sets within the team, or we can source right skill sets from outside the organization as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, some excellent points there. I mean, I think an organization, they need to be aware of what the challenges are and need to understand what they need to overcome before they put a strategy in place. So to move on to the next point now, okay, I'm personally quite a fan of these market tunist sketches. And while we were putting this webinar together, I saw this one and I thought it was very appropriate for today's session. Now, many people and organizations might look at AI as a solve-all solution for all of their challenges, but in reality, AI isn't always the right approach for every single challenge that an organization may have. So with that in mind, we thought it best to really sort of highlight some of the key use cases, what an organization might want to or should do leverage AI capabilities. So do you want to talk through some of those use cases, Suraj?
No, I love this cartoon. So I think whenever something really comes in on the picture, right? So everybody jumps into it, and then we all think it solves all of our issues. So this is very, very appropriate in this context. But yes, AI has got its own strength and weaknesses as well. So talking about the AI use cases, AI unlocks significant value for businesses and transform the way we work. AI isn't just about automating tasks; it's about empowering your workforce with intelligent tools. From data organizations to creative content generation, AI can handle a wide range of tasks, both simple and complex. Yeah, let's dive into use cases in 3 key areas where AI is poised to be the major impact on business. So starting from improve customer experience, right? So this area, the AI has been heavily leveraged to build chatbot, virtual assistants, personalizing e-commerce experience, for example. Chatbots has already been there for a long time, but they are more intelligent now, so they can fetch more real-time information. They can sort of like sense the mood based on the conversation. So it has gone to a different level, which ultimately adds value to improve customer experience. Identity verification, it can be leveraged. That makes the lots of processes, for example, credit card KYC, a lot faster and easier. AI-enabled contact center, especially the information gets quite handy. Refunds and referral as well. So based on looking at the data in payments world, where we kind of specialized, it actually makes the whole process finding right transactions from the database. So it enables to provide that just in time improved customer experience to our customers. This one point I wanted to add here, because one of the use cases which really excites me when I saw it. So the AI has been actually Gen AI has been leveraged to listen to the conversation in a real time when it's used in customer contact center. So it can actually listen to the conversation. It can actually give you real-time feedback about your mood, about your tone, about your personal personal engagement, your personal attribute towards that conversation. And that sort of things they're really useful, because normally when we talk to contact center people, we always complain, right? So it's always a difficult conversation to have. So it gives you real-time feedback, which is the absolutely fantastic uses of Gen AI there. So the next area to leverage AI is supercharged productivity, because this is something we have seen as well in earlier slides, because it has been very heavily used by the organization, right? So it's about employee assistance. So provide information if you're looking for some sort of HR policy. Oh yeah, I mean, how much paternity leave I do have. So you can just type in, and then it can give you the answer, reading your own organization policy. So that's fantastic. Content creation, I think it's been heavily used. We see all the content generated by AI, including text, audio, video, etc. Code generation is one other area. So within Simplified Solutions as well, we are leveraging this capability of AI, especially for the things where we have to generate standalone Python script or PowerShell script. So it's really helping our development team to be more productive and be able to demonstrate the capability quite quickly. So it has really been helping. Report generation is another area where it helps. It removes that mundane work to generate reports, generate charts, etc. Knowledge and training it's been fantastic, because building knowledge base is quite critical for every organization. So Gen AI can be leveraged to build this knowledge, as well as to interpret that knowledge at the right time, right? So if I've got a question on some particular area, I don't have time to go through like 20-30 pages document. Then I can just do the inquiry to get right knowledge to what I'm looking for. So yeah, that's the second area where we think there's a massive opportunity for AI to leverage. Process optimization. So this is another area lots of organizations are using to optimize their process. So automation. So some part of automation has already been done, like in in cybersecurity, for example, especially with SOC centers, there are ways to identify anomalies between different transaction data points that has been used. Document processing, so it can process document, get you the precise right information as it needed. It can help to do fraud detection, and also it helps to comply with security and compliance. So it can read lots of data from GRC platform and multiple different software to sort of like interpret it in a way to ensure organizations are compliant with security and compliance. And also, the last but not the least, it helps to identify the market trends. So that data, again, it's all down to the data, so it can understand the patterns, industry. It can take large data sets in order to identify the trend. That means the organization can be ahead of their competitors in order to set the strategy for the business.
Yeah, I think there's some excellent cases there, and as I said, I have certainly used some of these cases, shall we say, myself on a day-to-day basis. So yeah, look, there's lots of positivities around AI and where it can be used. So I think as a next step, we should maybe look at what are some of the best practices for sort of AI implementation. Now we'll look at the reliability in a bit shortly, but let's start with the AI model training. So I suppose what are some of the sort of key strategies just to ensure that any AI model that's being used is trained correctly and it's bringing out the most relevant and robust data?
Yeah, absolutely, Matt. I think that's quite critical to get the right results. So it starts from data. So data preparation. Effective AI model training begins with meticulous data preparation, a process that sets the foundation of success model performance. This involves several handling missing values and outlier is essential. Data anomalies can lead to biased model outputs, so identifying and resolving these issues helps maintain integrity. Features engineering follows where features are created and transformed to enhance the model ability to learn patterns. This process can greatly be improved, improve the accuracy and efficiency of the model. Finally, within data splitting is a fundamental part of preparations. The data set is divided into training, validation, and testing sets to ensure the data is evaluated in an unbiased manner. Proper division allows for more accurate performance measures. So next is the hyperparameter tuning. Optimizing hyperparameters plays a critical role in maximizing model performance. This process involves adjusting parameters that influence the training process with several common techniques available. One approach is grid search, which systematically explores a predefined range of hyperparameter values to find the optimal configuration. In contrast, random search samples hyperparameter combinations randomly, which can sometimes lead to quicker results with less computational effort. Another advanced method is Bayesian optimization, which leverages probabilistic tools to guide the search for optimal values more efficiently. The next one is this validation. Cross-validation is a vital technique used to assess the model ability to generalize and to prevent overfitting. Overfitting is basically occurs when a model performs well on the training data but fails to generalize a new data. Popular methods for cross-validation includes k-fold cross-validations, where data set is divided into k sets or folds. The model is trained on k-1 folds and tested on remaining fold, rotating this process across all folds to ensure robust evaluation. For balanced data set, stratified k-fold cross-validation is used. This method ensures that each fold has an equal representation of all classes, which is especially important when dealing with class imbalances. The next is regularization. Regularization techniques are used to mitigate overfitting by penalizing overly complex model. Two of the most common forms of regularizations are L1, which is a lasso, and L2, ridge. L1, lasso, regularization encourages sparsity, means it tends to push certain coefficient to zero, efficiently performing feature selection. This can be beneficial when working with high-dimensional data. L2, ridge regularization, on the other hand, reduces the magnitude of model coefficient, which helps prevent overfitting by discouraging overly large weights. Dropout is another regularization technique that helps prevent model from becoming too reliant on specific feature. During training, neurons are randomly dropped, which forces the model to learn more robust features. The next area is the model selection. Selecting the most appropriate AI model for a given task requires consideration of several factors. First, the type of problem, whether it's classification, regression, or another task, guides the selection of the model. The size and characteristics of the dataset are also critical, including number of samples and the distribution of classes. In some cases, model interpretability is important, especially when it's necessary to understand and explain the model decision. This is often the case in industries like healthcare, finance. Additionally, the available computational resources such as hardware and software influence the choice of model. Finally, a balance must be struck between accuracy and speed, as certain models may be more computationally efficient, but slightly less accurate, and vice versa.
Okay, so obviously really interesting stuff. Lots of useful detail in there. I think the main thing is that regardless of what your need is, selecting the right model is always key. So let's look past the training now, and let's look at accuracy and reliability. So can you talk us through some of the best practices to make sure everything's reliable and accurate?
Absolutely. To develop AI models that are both accurate and reliable, it's important to follow best practices. Avoiding overfitting is the key, and this can be achieved by employing regularization technique that we briefly touched upon earlier, or early stopping, which halts training when the model's performance on validation data stops improving. Thorough validation is essential. Using cross-validation and testing on held-out data helps ensure that model's performance is robust and not overfit to a particular data set. Equally important is ensuring the quality of data through careful cleaning, pre-processing, and diversification to avoid biased or incomplete inputs. Monitoring and retraining the model is a continuous process. Model performance should be evaluated over time, and the model should be updated as new data becomes available to maintain its accuracy and reliability. By carefully applying these techniques and adhering to these best practices, AI model can be developed to be both accurate and reliable, ensuring optimal performance in real-world applications.
Okay, excellent. So there'll be some really, again, insightful thoughts around best practices there. But let's now look at probably the best approach for actually what model to use. Now, obviously, at Simplified Solutions, we are big advocates of not reinventing the wheel. So it'd be good just to hear about some of the other models that are out there. Picking the right model can seem quite resource intensive or quite sort of expensive and time consuming. So just give us some of your views on what's currently out there. What can people be using effectively without doing a huge amount of labor intensive research?
Sure. So, I see two verticals here, right? So one is building AI, and then the other vertical is about solving the problem, leveraging that AI. So as a business, we really are trying to solve business problem. So you rightly said, we're not gonna reinvent the wheel, and I'm a strong believer of leveraging already available technologies out there. This will help to our organization to reduce cost and to develop model that helps to achieve rapid prototyping. So here are some Gen AI models that are provided as a service. So these are basically unified models, right? Amazon Bedrock. So it's a fully managed service that provides pre-built foundation models through a single API. Bedrock is designed to be secure and robust, and it allows users to work with various ML machine learning framework. Another example is Azure OpenAI offers access to OpenAI GPT series of LLMs. Azure OpenAI is a good choice for enterprise that need to integrate with other Azure services and comply with regulations. Vertex AI with Gemini 1.5 Pro and Gemini 1.5 Flash. The version keep changing, by the way, so this is the current one. Vertex AI is fully managed unified AI development platform for building and using generative AI. Access and utilize Vertex AI Studio, Agent Builder, and 150 plus foundation models. So I think that's very important to remember. It has got 150 plus foundation models, including Gemini 1.5 Pro and Gemini 1.5 Flash. There's so many other different models, right? So these are from the biggest companies. So this is just to give a flavor. There are Alpaca, Manda, Cohere, Llama. So there's so many models can be leveraged. So that model can be trained using our own data, and then there are so many different models available for our own business specific use cases. So we really need to look at leveraging those models to solve our business problem, rather than getting bogged down into what models to build, what data, because data is the key. So we have to invest time and effort to create appropriate data set. But I think models are already available there, and this way it's going to be much more cost effective as well. So they are mostly pay per use cost models. So it's going to be a really good starting point for organization in AI transformation journey.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think it's the key thing for any sort of AI consultant, like us, is to have a look at, to understand what an organization's objectives are, what they're looking to go, what their strategy is, and then aligning the best model to fit those needs and to fit those particular use cases. Quite obviously aware of the time now of this 45-minute webinar, so just wanted to look at as the next step. We've talked about many of the positives and a lot of the good use cases for AI, but as we said at the beginning, it's really important for any organization or any kind of consultancy organization to address some of the ethical concerns that surround AI and what organizations need to be aware of, and really to know what they're getting themselves into. So let's sort of rattle through some of those concerns.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I think the uses, or I would say rather misuse of AI has already started getting lots of traction, because I don't know if you have seen the latest videos between president candidate in the US. That was quite popular, quite viral, generated by AI. But that probably not too harmful, but there are harmful content as well. So it is really important to consider those ethical concerns as well as security concerns during the strategize AI strategy for the organization. So some of the consideration that we need to make is about distribution of harmful content, right? So the Gen AI can potentially create and spread harmful, offensive, and misleading content like deepfakes, hate speech, and misinformation. The ability to generate human-like content at scale raises concern about the proliferation of harmful materials. Right. Okay. Uses of copyright and intellectual property issues. So we have already seen this issue with the big AI platform using personal data, right? So There are significant concern around copyright infringement and intellectual property rights as generative AI models are trained on vast data set that may include copyright materials. This can lead to legal and reputational risk for companies using those models. Data privacy and security. The use of large data set for training generative AI models raises questions about data privacy, consent, and potential misuse of personal information. There are concerns about inadvertent exposure of sensitive data through AI-generated outputs. So as an example, within the organization, if the data segmentation isn't done properly, you can inquire for your colleague's salary as well, which wouldn't be nice within the organization. Bias and fairness. So generative AI models can perpetuate or amplify biases present in the training data, leading to unfair or discriminatory outputs. This is particularly concerning when these systems are used in decision-making process. Lack of transparency and explainability. The complexity of Gen AI models are often makes it difficult to understand how they arrive at specific outputs, raising concerns about transparency and accountability. Workforce displacement. So I think the common sentence in the world at the moment is AI is going to take your job, right? So there are ethical concerns about potential for a generative AI to replace human workers in various fields, leading to job losses and economic disruptions. Environment impacts. That's another consideration. The training and operation of large Gen AI models consume significant amounts of energy, raising concerns about their environmental footprint. Last but not the least, it could be misinformation and hallucination. So Gen AI can produce convincing but factually incorrect information, contributing to spread of misinformation. The phenomenon is a phenomenon of AI hallucination, where models are generated plausible but false content, is a particular concern. Addressing these ethical concerns requires multifaceted approach involving clear guidelines, robust government frameworks, transparency in AI development and deployment, and ongoing education and awareness efforts. So going back to the strategy we mentioned earlier, we went through earlier, that gives us some picture to address some of these ethical and security concerns throughout the process. So building the strategy is quite critical. Considering these concerns is really a way forward to have a good strategy in place for AI transformation.
Yeah, 100% agree. I think the harmful content and misinformation is something that gets talked a lot about in the press at the moment. I mean, you mentioned what's going on in the US with the presidential election. It's misinformation everywhere. So I think the ethical concerns is something that's really crucial for any organization to take stock of before committing to any strategy. So look, we're now drawing this to a close. So let's just wrap this up with a few closing remarks from yourself, Suraj. And so what are the main takeaways from today's session?
Right. AI is here to stay. To optimize processes, boost productivity, and enhance customer experience. Leveraging AI is essential for staying competitive in today's business landscape. So this is most important to get AI on board. And the second important point is about AI doesn't have to be expensive or complicated. There are faster and more affordable services available to help your organization to get started with AI transformation. And some of the ideas, some of the options that we went through in today's sessions as well, to help organizations to have more cost-effective and efficient strategy for AI transformation.
Okay, fantastic. Perfectly wrapped up and summarized there, Suraj. So that is it. So first of all, thank you for everybody who attended today's session, and for those who are watching this back. We hope you found it useful. Now, we'll be back soon with our sort of next leadership webinar, but In the meantime, if you have any questions on AI strategy, whether it's use cases, implementation, those ethical concerns that we've talked about, what model to use, please feel free to contact myself or contact Raj. At Simplified Solutions, we are here to help an organization and to guide an organization through that AI strategy and making sure that what you select is right for you and your business and your objectives. So that's all that's left to say is a massive thank you once again to Suraj for leading this webinar, providing his thoughts and his insights on the matter of AI transformation. And to everybody else, look forward to seeing you again soon. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you for joining. Bye-bye.